Well, today I'm standing on top of ferry bridges, one of the most iconic and mysterious attractions here in Bundoran, South Donegal. The peculiar rock formations consist of dramatic sea arches and blowholes where under rough sea conditions they spit water upwards. It's mysterious because its beauty can be seen from so many angles, each viewing point revealing hidden crevices, fresh insights. Tidal conditions change from tranquil pools to stormy torrents, helping to see how the rock has been cut out over thousands of years. The natural beauty evokes a sense of awe that does us the power of good. I want to suppose that this rock feature, locally known as the Ferry Bridges, symbolises the love of God, and its myriad dimensions represent the exhaustive love of Christ. Many of the Apostle Paul's writings were penned within lockdown in prison, so we might expect to find a bitter man asking God to remove all his troubles. I often feel our view of God can get twisted and tarnished, but listen to Paul's surprising prayer for himself and his people that were struggling. He prays that they may have power to grasp how wide and long and high and deep is the love of Christ. You see, Paul's heart was exploding with excitement to help us explore the multidimensional positive love of Jesus. The width of love, you'll see behind me, the width of the Sea Arch Bridge, which is about 10 foot in width. It's wide enough to carry people safely, even while social distancing. Christ's love is wide. The scope of his offer is open to all who come. Christ loved the world. His arms stretch out to include everybody, no matter what race or colour or status or creed. There are no exclusions to his whosoever may come. He loves and he welcomes you and me into his family. His love is as wide as the ocean behind me. The length of love. The length of the bridge behind me and in front of us is about 24 foot in span across a chasm. The distance of the bridge reminds us of the enormous lengths God will go to reach us. The chaos of sin has caused a chasm between us and God. We simply can't bridge the gap on our own. Through a cross-shaped bridge, Jesus mercifully provides us with a way back to him and offers us new life. See, Christ's crazy love loved us when we were unlovable. He has compassion for the broken and the hurting. His love stretches as far as the rebellious and the undeserving like me. He loved us when we were his enemies. There is no hidden sin, no matter how dark, that he isn't willing to forgive if we will only bow the knee to the rescuer and ask for his sweet forgiveness. The length of his love has been described in the Jesus Storybook Bible as follows: the never stopping, never giving up, unbreaking, always and forever love. The heights of love. The height is like us standing at the base looking up at the staggering heights of safety. Let's look up and visualize the heights of his love. The Son willingly left the safety and comfort of heaven to become one of us, to live in our shoes, to suffer and die so that we could live. What heights of love! What dramatic self-sacrifice Jesus made. He did it for you and he did it for me. He looks with longing in his eye through the tears and the pain of his suffering because he wants you and me to experientially know God. He longs that each of us experience the boundless heights of his embracing, accepting love. His love is as high as the heavens above. The depths of love on a stormy day at high tide as we stare at the depths below. The danger of the turbulent waters is clear. You see, his love is vast and unmeasurable, yet Paul invites us to plumb its depths. Paul has spoken of the gravity of the human condition, and it's worse than we may think at first. He claims that we are like spiritual corpses needing to be spiritually resurrected. That may explain why we so often we're indifferent to God's love until he breathes his life into us. We are blind to his great affection for us. You see, our self-centeredness, our bias, is so severe that we deserve God's anger, but instead God offers his mercy and his love to those who believe. There are great dangers lurking for those who refuse his love, yet the depths of Christ's radical love cuts through the heart of our unbelief and stubbornness. Nothing we think or do prevents Christ reaching out to us like the prodigal son and throwing a party upon our return to him. His love is as deep as the deepest ocean. It's no wonder the Ferry Bridges attraction has contributed to putting Bundoran on the map of top tourist destinations. However, even the glorious Ferry Bridges and all its spatial ranges are inadequate to describe the unsearchable riches of God's love for us. Christ's love is multidimensional. The scale and scope of his love far exceeds our imagination, and a fresh glimpse of his amazing love is mined by groups of his people recounting fresh stories of his personal love for them. Paul continued, "And to know his love that surpasses knowledge, that you may be filled to the measure of all the fullness of God." As we struggle through these turbulent times, may you and I both have the power, God's power, to grasp the exhaustive dimensions of God's love for us, and may that all revolutionize our lives. You see, his love demands a response. Let that response be to run headlong into the arms of the Saviour's embrace and let him blow your socks off. I'm your host, Matt Tuttleby, with Bundoran Bible Reflections.